Baby, something happened today that I can't undo. And maybe I wasn't ready, maybe the timing was brutal, maybe it wasn't meant to happen this way, but it did. They saw the message, the one I wrote for you in the middle of the night when my walls were down and my soul was loud, the one I never thought anyone else would see, the one I typed with trembling hands and raw feelings, because it was the only place I still allowed myself to love you out loud. And now, it's no longer just between us. My family saw it. They read every word, every line, every memory, every ache, every truth. And baby, now they know everything. There's no hiding you anymore. No disguising how much you still live inside me. I don't even know how they found it. Maybe I forgot to delete it. Maybe the universe wanted it this way. But when I walked into that room and saw their faces, holding my phone, staring at the words I poured out about you, my heart stopped. It wasn't just exposure. It was soul-level nakedness. Because that message wasn't just a letter. It was a prayer. It was my heartbreak bleeding through a screen. And now they've seen the version of me I only show when I talk to you. The broken, the still in love, the never moved on. They didn't yell. They didn't judge. They just looked at me with that quiet confusion people wear when they realize they never really knew what you were holding in your heart. And then came the questions. Is this recent? Do you still love her? Is this why you've been distant? And I just stood there, frozen. Because how do you explain that you've been loving someone silently for months? How do you admit that your body moved on but your soul never did? How do you tell your family that the reason you haven't been the same is because you're still carrying a love that was never meant to be silenced? I told them the truth. I had no choice. I told them you were never a fling, never a phase. I told them you were the one who changed everything, that your voice still plays in my head when things go quiet, that your name still softens my chest when the world feels heavy, that no matter how far we've drifted, my heart never stopped writing poetry in your name. And when I said those words, I didn't feel embarrassed. I felt free, because for the first time in too long, I said your name in front of people who didn't know I still speak to your memory every single day. Baby, they know now. They know you're the one I couldn't get over. They know you're the reason I haven't let anyone else in. They know that no matter how I look on the outside, smiling, stable, successful, I've been carrying this silent storm inside. And you're the center of it. The calm and the chaos, the ache and the hope. The only person who ever made me feel like home wasn't a place. It was a soul. And now the people who thought they knew me have finally seen the truth. I loved you. I still love you. And maybe I always will. And baby, if you're hearing this, if the universe finds a way to place this message in front of your eyes, I need you to know something. You were not a secret. You were sacred. You were the only thing in my life that felt divinely timed. And if I ever hid you, it wasn't because I was ashamed. It was because I was terrified. Terrified of losing you. Terrified of judgment. Terrified that if I shared you with the world, I'd somehow curse the only good thing I had left. But hiding you cost me more than I expected. It didn't protect us. It suffocated me. And now I know real love should never be hidden. If this line pierced your soul, comment below. Real love deserves to be seen. I replay that message in my head now, not to change it, but to honor it. Because every word I wrote to you was real. I told you that I still think about the way you looked at me, like I was worth loving. I told you how I still see flashes of us in the most random places. How songs feel heavier now, how mornings feel incomplete. I wrote that I still love you, even though I pretend I don't. And now everyone knows. And honestly, I'm glad. Because you were never supposed to be a story I kept locked away. You were meant to be a chapter I read aloud. They asked me what I'd do if you walked back into my life tomorrow. And I couldn't lie. I told them I'd drop everything, that I'd walk straight toward you, that I'd kneel if I had to, that if you ever gave me a second chance, I wouldn't waste a single second. I told them that there's only one name I whisper in my prayers when no one's watching. Yours. That even now, when I touch my chest, I sometimes feel you. Not as pain, but as presence, as warmth I once knew and maybe, just maybe, could know again. So, if this reaches you, and your heart stirs without knowing why, know it's because someone out there still speaks your name with reverence. Someone still believes in what you two shared. Someone still loves you, even after the silence, even after the time, even after all the what-ifs. If you've ever held back your love because you were scared of being judged, comment below. No more hiding. And you know what still haunts me? It's not that they saw the message. It's that you never got to hear those words the way I meant them. You never got to feel the way my hands trembled while typing. How my chest ached when I reread it before hitting send or delete. You never got to see how long I stared at the screen afterward, wondering if it was too much, too late, too vulnerable. And now, somehow, strangers to our love got to witness it before you fully did. That breaks me in ways I can't explain. Because those words were never meant for judgment. They were meant to wrap around your tired heart like a blanket. Baby, that message was the version of me that doesn't come out in public. It was the version that remembers how your eyelashes curled when you were sleepy. The way your breath would stutter just a little when you were trying not to cry. The way you'd go quiet when you were afraid of being too much. Not realizing you were always just enough. It was the version of me that still sees you when I close my eyes. Not as a memory, but as a home I haven't stopped longing for. You want to know what I wrote in that message? I told you I wasn't okay, that I still replay our conversations in my head, word for word, trying to find the moment everything started to fall apart. I told you I miss the way you used to say my name, not casually, but like it belonged to you. I told you that your silence hurts more than any goodbye ever could. And most of all, I told you the truth. I've been too much of a coward to say out loud. I still love you. Not the way I did before. Deeper, quieter, braver, holier. And now that my family knows, now that they've read the words I was too scared to speak, I feel this strange relief mixed with unbearable grief. Because a part of me feels like I lost the one place I could safely whisper your name. And another part of me feels like maybe this was the universe forcing my hand, forcing me to admit that no matter how far I run, I will never outrun the way you still live in the corners of my soul.